What was the most surprising thing you realized about Hawaii/Hawaiian culture that you didn't know prior to your trip? I guess this is kind of like
The
the
locals.
stereotype one, yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe if you have another thing to
I
share.
have something else. Oh, well, here's something small and specific that I think was the first thing I want to figure out is how do I actually say the word of this state in this
Oh
place?
yeah,
Like, people say it differently. I'm not gonna like,
yeah.
let me have them say it first, and then I'll figure out. And then I heard, like, Hawaii, and I'm like, "Am I allowed to say it like that? Or is it only you guys who could say it? There's Hawaii, there's Hawaii, there's Hawaii. What do I say?" And then you kind of educated me in the sense of like, "Oh, there's Okina, right?"
Mhm.
So you have that little pause, Hawaii, and then all of a sudden I was like super conscious. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I don't say Hawaii. And like every time I say Hawaii, I'm like always, did I say it right? So yeah, how to say Hawaii? Like that's a big one. And again, where would you know to learn that, especially as an outsider, and then you feel self conscious or confused?
For sure. I mean, I love that you asked that, and I don't get upset at people anymore because I realize it comes down to education and what you know, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you only watch TV and movies and where they're saying Hawaii, you're gonna say it Hawaii.
Hmm.
If you grow up like I did, you're gonna say Hawaii, or as locals say it, Hawaii. It's you have a different pronunciation of the W sometimes. But in the Hawaiian language, just to clarify for people who are curious, Hawaii is the Hawaiian way to say the word. It's in the Hawaiian language. Hawaii, you have the okina, the glottal stop between the two I's. It looks like in a backwards apostrophe. So I say Hawaii. Sometimes I say Hawaii. It's just whatever comes out naturally because most of the times when I'm talking to people, I say Hawaii. When I was in Spain, I would say I'm from Hawaii or Hawaii, and people wouldn't understand. So I would have to say, "Oh, I'm from Hawaii,"
Hmm.
because they would say Hawaii, oh Hawaii, Hawaii, and they do like the
Hmm.
hula dancer stuff. I have a very vivid memory of that. So I mean, it depends. I look at it as like we say Spain in in uh in Spain they say España, or in the Spanish language they say España. So I just see it as it's correct whether it's Hawaii. Hawaii is just like the English way to say it.
Hmm.
Hawaii is the Hawaiian way to say it.
Yeah, or it's like saying, "I'm from Marbella," or "I'm from Marbella." So
Yeah.
just saying the letters differently. I think it's different here because you have you have a mission. Like, you have a point to prove, which is we're bringing back this language that was oppressed. Whether I say Marbella or Marbella, Spain, nobody cares
Yeah.
because it's not it hasn't been oppressed, and there's no point to prove. But clearly, there's a movement here, and you want to bring back the language, so that's why there's a cause behind speaking more Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Whereas if that wasn't the history, maybe people wouldn't care as much whether you said it wrong or
Mhm.
right. But it's charged with emotions when people say Hawaii because it reflects on a lot of other things.
Yeah. It is interesting though, and this might be a hot take. We care about things way more in Hawaii than other places.
In what way?
In ways where we're just like so what's the word? I wouldn't say sensitive, but we really want to like let people know like this is how we do it. Like it's Hawaii. You do things like this. Aloha spirit. We're always trying to kind of like push our own agenda in a way where you go to a lot of places and like they just don't care whether you say like you said Marbella or Marbella,
Mhm.
whatever, however you want to say it. Like they don't really care too much about how you do things. But I know there is a lot of history and trauma that goes into it over here specifically, but there's also a lot of other places as well that I just want to acknowledge that. So, is what I'm saying is like all these issues, it's not unique just to Hawaii. It happens in other places, but because it's here and it's our culture and there's a renaissance, I think it's highlighted a lot more than other places.
Well, what comes to mind for me is, again, like in a lot of marginalized or oppressed communities, there are consequences to ignoring the culture, or there are consequences to not further the culture because if we don't say it right, or if we don't educate, then it's going to get lost. And look what happened when it got lost. Like it was a bad time, right?
Mhm.
So in Marbella or Marbella, there's no consequences to saying it wrong. But here, there's clearly a cause and a movement behind saying things right. Saying things right. And of course, there's always on social media, everything is more charged, and it can feel so much more aggressive in a lot of ways, or like. But that's to me the big differentiation of a place that cares and doesn't care is what are the consequences of saying it wrong, and if there are big consequences where the culture is eradicated or whatever, then we're going to make sure that we push it, and we're not going to let anyone say it wrong, because we need to bring it back or whatever the
Yeah.
reason is.
That's great. What he said. Actually, I wish I said that. That's
Just
the
put
very,
your face
very
on.
good point. Yeah. Kevin, how's AI looking these days? Can we?